Fellow Americans, this is mission critical. We are at an inflection point. Do you realize that if the Democrats actually take back the House, regain power, they would have done so without actually ever doing a single thing for Americans? Name me one accomplishment. Name me one achievement. Name me one thing they've done to fulfill their oath, which is to serve the good of the public interest. The only thing they have done is fight this administration, our commander-in-chief, President Trump, who was duly elected in an open and free election. Thereby, ergo, they're fighting us. They're fighting the will of the American people because he ran on mass deportation. He ran on keeping American streets safe. They're turning an actual violent, abrasive rioter into a hero. This is the narrative that they're trying to project, that Alex Pretty was this great, good man who was trying to protect a fellow citizen from the big bad wolf, federal ICE agents masked, unarmed cars, unarmed vehicles, sweeping brown and black people away. Here's the reality. Share with you a new angle, a brand new angle. Not the ones that you've seen. Nobody's ever seen this angle. This is a brand new angle that proves. Here are just some snapshots of him kicking a car, yelling and screaming at our federal law enforcement officers who, again, are simply carrying out the task, the duty. They're not lawmakers. They're not policymakers. They are simply enforcing the law that has already been etched in stone. There he is carrying a firearm weeks before his life ended tragically. That same firearm. I've never heard of anybody bringing a loaded firearm and 2 extra loaded magazines to, quote, peacefully, end quote, protest. Have you? The Democrats are so bent on making this guy a hero that their woke media apparatus actually went as far to alter his image using artificial intelligence, AI, to make him look more marketable.
You see what MSNBC did to his image?
Yeah, where they gussied
Basically
it up.
did the opposite of what CNN did to me. You know, CNN during the COVID times turned me green, and they made me ugly and look like I was dying, and they made him handsome. Yeah. So people would be more sympathetic to him getting shot, which is kind of wild. Like, are ugly people less valuable to MSNBC?
Less marketable?
That is crazy to me. Like, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. They shortened up his face. They gave him a little bit of a tan. They widened his face a little bit, it seems like. They just made him a little handsomer.
Yeah,
a little hotter.
They gave him a bit of that Chad jaw, didn't they?
They shrunk his nose a little too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They shrunk his nose, gave him a little bit of a handsome jaw. So he looks like an
even
American.
Made him, if you look at the shoulders, it even looks like they may have plumped up the shoulders there a bit.
A little bit, yeah. The one on the right.
You've got the NBA, the WNBA spreading vicious lies about this guy and what our federal officers are doing. You've got Lady Gaga in a concert in Japan defaming America, decrying these poor law enforcement officers simply doing their job. Molly Ringwald, Bruce, the fake boss Springsteen, just wrote an anti-ICE song praising this guy right here, called The Streets of Minneapolis. This is a full frontal assault, America. And here is another angle to just let you know how warm and nice this guy really is. Watch.
Footage has surfaced showing ICU nurse Alex Pretty in a confrontation with federal agents just 11 days before he was fatally shot. Pretty is seen yelling at officers and taunting them. Pretty's family confirmed their son was the man spitting at an ICE vehicle before smashing the taillight in the video.
Spit on law enforcement officers. He had a firearm. He had 2 loaded magazines. He's yelling, "Assault me, mother trucker." He's yelling expletives, epithets, the worst of the worst, attacking, sticking his middle finger at them. This was just a couple of weeks ago. But to the Democrats, He was a sweet, caring, kind, generous man just trying to help a fellow citizen.
Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm. Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there. I recognized his familiar stillness and signature calm composure.
Don't feel guilty about laughing. It's funny. But this is dead serious, America. This is who the radical Democrats are propping up to be their hero. This is who the radical Democrats are now holding as a pawn to hold the rest of us hostage as they threaten a shutdown if we don't defund our hardworking, brave, courageous law enforcement officers who are simply trying to do their job. Check out this vile excerpt of what Hakeem Nobody's Dream Jeffries just said about Secretary No.
Disgraceful. She's got to go. We are dead serious. She needs to be put on ice permanently. She's got to go.
I want you to imagine if Pete Hegseth or Secretary Bessent or J.D. Vance or, dare I say, our President Trump said that Chuck Schumer or Ghetto Crockett needs to be put on ice permanently. What do you think would happen? This is Dana Kinlaw, who was lured into a fake puppy sale in South Carolina and then was brutally unalived by these people. These are repeat offenders who should have never been on the streets. They actually lured this poor American citizen who thought she was going to get a puppy, and then they completely brutally slayed her to the ground. Why don't we hear about this on MSNBC, NBC, CNN, the woke media? Could you imagine if the races were reversed? This just happened. The hypocrisy knows no bounds, my fellow Americans. And John Leguizamo, Springsteen, Lady Gaga, Natalie Portman, Steve Kerr, the NBA, the WNBA, Mark Ruffalo, Matt Damon, all you Holly weirdos, Ben Stiller. This is what was happening to migrants under Biden. Where was your fake outrage then?
Texas morgues are reportedly overflowing as migrants, including young children, are dying.
In Eagle Pass, Texas, rows of makeshift crosses mark the final resting place of unidentified migrants. The remains of the dead now overflowing into the morgue's parking lot, where 5 refrigerated trucks hold 260 bodies and growing by the day.
2021, what happens? You get in office, and that red line are dead bodies.
U.S. Border Patrol agents are holding migrants in outdoor cages amidst a record-setting heat wave.
More than 100 migrants have died from heat at the border so far this year, 13 alone in the past week.
This empty trailer, now tied to the deaths of 53 men, women, and potentially children left packed inside.
Since your last appearance, the numbers have grown worse. It now approaches 100,000 children, according to public reports, 100,000 children lost by your department and the Biden administration. Migrant children sold into labor trafficking and trafficking.
Migrant children who come to the U.S. without their parents here are working 12-hour shifts or more at factories, even though it violates child labor laws. The 3 little boys that died, were injured and died. One of them fell from a roof in construction.
What are these wristbands?
I don't know what they are.
You don't know what they are. These are children being sold into slavery, and you don't even know what they are. That is astonishing.
Surveillance cameras capturing a smuggler tossing 3- and 5-year-old toddler girls from Ecuador over a 14-foot border fence.
My husband called me on Mother's Day morning about 8:30 and sent me a picture of 5 little girls laying in the dirt on a dirty blanket down here on the river.
Joe Biden has built more cages. The cages are bigger and they're more full.
Family separation. While the policy of separating families no longer exists, the practice continues under the watch of the Biden administration.
No outrage, no protests, no burning down businesses, no burning down city buildings, no attacking law enforcement officers, no blocking traffic, no throwing rocks, no waving Mexican flags and foreign flags and defaming and desecrating the United States of America. Where was your fake outrage then, Bruce? Hey, Matt Damon, Ruffalo, De Niro, where's your fake performative outrage then, Molly Ringwald? When it was Trump. This is what they sounded like.
No one is above the law.
Nobody's above the law.
No person is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
You're not above the law. You're not an elite. You're not untouchable. And so it's nice to see that the rule of law has returned.
Obama's immigration policy, Clinton's immigration policy, 100 times more than what Trump is doing right now, which we voted for, which he ran on in the election. No outrage, no protests, no violence, no upheaval, no chaos, no bedlam. Why all these celebrities wearing Renee Good pins and Bruce fake boss Springsteen writing songs for this heathen, this cretin? Why is this happening now? Can't think of a better explanation than what billionaire Chamath Palihapitiya says right here. This is, to me, the greatest example of awakening. You want true woke? You want true awakening, which is what woke is supposed to mean? Watch.
This is not about politics for me. It's about the truth. There was a moment where I was basically like everybody else and pretty brainwashed. My media diet was very much the same as everybody else's. I read the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. I watched a little bit of CNN, a little bit of CNBC, a little bit of MSNBC, a little bit of CBS. Economist every now and then you encounter it on a plane, and you think you know what's going on. And I had a perception of Donald Trump initially from the moment he walked down the staircase in Trump Tower to announce. And then over the course of 6 or 7 years, I realized that some of those fundamental things that I was told about him were just totally false. And there was enough content online where I was almost afraid, but it started with Charlottesville. I was almost afraid to look at it because I'm like, I think I was lied to. And then I saw it. I saw what he said, but then I saw the portrayal. I had originally believed that portrayal until I saw the truth. And then I just started to go down that rabbit hole. So for me, it was an evolution where I was like, I can't believe I'm being lied to by this group of people whose sole responsibility is to hold truth to power. The key word there is truth to power, not your perception or your desires. And I just think that red pilled me, I guess.
We're the last front, y'all. It's independent media, new media, of the people, by the people, for the people. You're here watching this. You are contributing to getting America back, because the real enemy is not China. It's not Putin. It's not North Korea. It's not India. It's not the European Union. It's not Keir Starmer. It's not the UK. The real enemy is our domestic terrorists within, who are fighting tooth and nail for criminals because they actually understood that they can't win elections anymore with you and me, actual American citizens. So instead of modifying their policies, instead of taking a step back and going, maybe you guys, maybe we should like chill out a little bit here on, this transgender throwing, men and women's sports and violating our daughters and mothers and sisters and grandmothers' locker room gyms. Maybe we should actually like incorporate the American way, best person for the job. DEI is a little bit racist. Maybe we should actually fight crime. It makes sense, doesn't it? People don't want to like have to walk down the street with their head on a swivel. Instead of doing that, they said, screw that. I got an idea. Let's just import our voters. We can replace all these people, and we can actually give them free health care, free credit cards, free everything, free home loans, radical amnesty, radical citizenship, accelerated citizenship, and then we'll stay in power for good. This is the last front, y'all. This is mission critical. We can't let this happen. Tap the thumbs up. Share this with everybody you know. Text it to them. Share it with them. Watch it all the way to the end. If you love America, tap the thumbs up. I can't wait to hear your comments on any of this. I'm open to all ideas. Please check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to follow and subscribe. If you got value out of this content, it's free. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.